I read something really interesting the other day in that France has actually banned influencers from creating content promoting fast fashion brands such as Shein. And I thought this was really, really interesting. Now, they've done it from the environmental point of view because, of course, fast fashion is extremely harmful to the environment. And a lot of these influencers will encourage people to buy large hauls of clothes. They do like outfits of the day. It's kind of buying into the need to keep purchasing this kind of clothing, which, of course, is never the best quality and it's not going to last long enough for you to really get your money's worth from it. So for this, you're constantly buying into the cycle of replacing clothes. And what France want to do is to encourage people to start talking about being more sustainable in terms of longevity of clothes, invested in quality pieces, learning to repair clothes instead of constantly buying new ones. It's a really interesting initiative, I have to be honest, but it got me thinking. Brands like Shein, they encourage people to look like clones of one another. Like whenever you have these kind of fast fashion shops, you have people that will purchase the exact same outfits as countless others. And you end up in a situation where everybody is pretty much wearing the exact same thing. I remember a couple of years ago here in Italy, it was all about the cowboy boots. Literally everywhere I turned, it seemed like people owned a pair of cowboy boots. Then we had the white boots. And then last year, I remember people were wearing these boots, which I can't really describe them very well. I'm sure that you all know what I'm talking about, but they were really puffy at the top and they disguised the heel of the boot. So all you could really see was like just the toe of the boot and then just the rest of it was the leg part, if that makes any sense. But this type of boot was everywhere here in Italy. And I just remember thinking, why do we try so hard to be like everybody else? Why aren't we a bit more unique? I have to be honest in that I have never ever wanted to look like other people. Maybe when I was younger, yes, of course, like, we all go through that phase. But as I've gotten older, my biggest nightmare is that I will turn up at an event or go somewhere and somebody's wearing the exact same outfit as me. Literally, I do not like that at all. I like to be really individual and I also like to be really sustainable with my clothes as well. So somebody commented on my video the other day being like, "Oh, where have we seen that top before?" My clothes last me. I don't care if you've seen me wear this top for like 2, 3 years. What business is it of yours, first and foremost? But secondly, that's me being sustainable. I am, of course, not somebody who is afraid of buying things, but to judge somebody because they choose not to constantly be in the consumerist market of purchasing more and more and more and more, to me is really absurd. Let people be them. Let people be unique. Let people choose not to buy new clothes if they don't need to, if they don't want to. Let people be them. Why do we suddenly have this pressure placed on us of always having new clothes, always having new outfits, having to look a particular way? None of it makes any sense to me. And it really isn't anything that I agree with either. I used to be very much into the vintage scene, especially when it came to clothes. And I think I really appreciated it because I knew that often I'd be purchasing things that were completely unique. The chances of me bumping into somebody wearing the same outfit as me was like next to none. And I loved that. I love the fact that I could style my clothes and style my outfits in a really unique way and not be like this slave to the fashion trends that come and go in the blink of an eye. And I think this is the real magic of life. Being true to you, not just doing what everybody else is doing because it's the cool thing to do or because it's what, in a way, society expects of us. I think it's all about being individual and being unique. And I've always embraced that path because I think, you know, at the end of the day, we are all very different in our mindset, in our approach to life, in the thoughts and opinions we have about things, in our individual circumstances. We are all so different. So why do we try so hard to be like each other? I see it in business. I have a friend who has a business in the UK, and I saw the other day that she was posting that people are copying what she is doing. And I was like, why? do we do this? Why don't we be unique and come up with our own ideas for businesses, for products, for services, for content? I've had people copy me before from my YouTube channel. I see it. I see similar ideas of videos that I posted weeks before suddenly being regurgitated and repeated on other channels within my niche. It's a compliment, sure, because you're like, okay, they must have liked that content to want to do their own version. But at the same time, you're like, why don't you come up with your own ideas? It's this, isn't it? Why do we try so hard in whatever way, shape, or form it may be to be like other people? I think sometimes we have to take inspiration, absolutely. I believe that we can learn so much from everybody, as I have spoken about in previous episodes, but I also recognize it's important to be true to you. And, I always say it in whichever way, shape, or form you take this, whether it's fashion, whether it's business, whether it's content creation, whatever it may be, if you are uniquely true to you, you will always miles ahead of everybody else. So I'll give you a really trivial example, but it highlights it really well. When we moved here to our new home in the Salerno province, I got my nails done when I eventually found a place to go to. And I decided to get a Tiffany blue color because I'd seen that it was, a beautiful spring shade to have. It was one of the now colors of that particular time of year. And I remember I got it done. Everyone was like, wow, wow, it looks really good, blah, blah, blah. And then roll on a couple of months, and I have seen that it is now the color that is being promoted in that place. And yet I had that color a couple of months before. And this is it. When you are true to you, you are always miles ahead of everybody else. Everybody else is playing catch up. And that's why I think it's so important to stay very much in your own lane and to not look around you and to not care what other people are doing. Take inspiration, yes, but don't try to be like everybody else. Be like you in whatever way that may be, whether it's fashion, whether it's starting a business, whether it's creating a YouTube channel, whatever it may be like you. Everybody else is already taken, and you shouldn't need to be like them in the first place because we all have unique offerings that cannot be replicated by each other. So I think this is something very, very important to remember. We are not all the same. And so I feel like we need to get back into embracing that individuality and that aspect of ourselves, because far too many people live their lives in a very similar way, especially here in the south of Italy. I see people having the same kinds of patterns, of lifestyle, life decisions, what they do, where they work, how they approach education. It's all very same old, same old. And it's almost considered like you're rocking the boat if you do something that's really, really different. Maybe you decide to not go to university and to get a job straight away. That these are decisions that are not the norm in this part of the world. And so it's something that you have to really sit with and be like, what do I want for my life? Forget tradition, forget being like everybody else. What do you want for your life? What do you want to create? Who are you as a person? And fundamentally, how can you make it happen? I think these are the things we should be focusing on instead of looking constantly outside of ourselves. I will see you in the next episode.